Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin here, and today I actually wanted to talk about a pretty controversial topic. I know. Topic. I know, sorry about the lighting. I'm just leaving my office now, and it is pretty dark in here. So I do, and I did want to talk about a pretty controversial topic today, and that is autonomous vehicles and the or AVs really, and what they can do and whatnot, the development of them, and the development of the deployment of self-driving vehicles, and raising the concerns and whatnot, and what it can do for jobs and things like that. And I figured I would do probably like a pros and cons thing that I see about it, and what my take is specifically for it. So I figured I'd talk about that today, along with what the impacts are on society, and along with how it's changing the transportation infrastructure and society altogether. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, one of the first pros that I have listed, by the way, I have all my reasons on my phone here, so if you guys ever see me looking at it, it's just so that this way I can keep talking and whatnot, and remember what I need to discuss with you guys today. So, the first pro that I have for this is basically overall improved safety. From studies have shown that apparently autonomous vehicles actually reduce the potential to reduce the risk of collisions and accidents altogether caused by human error, and improve road safety. So I guess I could see that as a plus. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 50-50 on that. I feel like if a glitch does happen, that's technically computer error, not human error. So if the system glitches out, then that's where you have an issue, and that still causes that human error, right? With that being said, there's also safety concerns. That's a con. The autonomous technology is still being refined and concerned exists regarding the ability to handle unpredictable situations and potential for hacking and system failures, which is exactly what I was just talking about. So with autonomous driving and whatnot, you leave the vulnerability for hacking, for glitches and things like that, to cause that simple human error that we were just talking about. I feel like that is the downfall of it. There's pros, there's cons, and that's the con for that specific pro. I feel like with that in general, that can cause even more accidents, probably just as many as what a human error type of accident would do. And I don't feel like there's much of a loss. It says there's a loss, but I doubt it. And I feel like with the way autonomous driving goes, if you're a smart enough hacker, you'd be able to take control of the car or whatever, cause it to glitch out, things like that, or just in general. I feel like it's very easily tricked, and a lot of havoc can be caused. With that, that's a whole another mess, right? So leading towards my next topic, right? My next topic would be mobility access. AVs, with the way autonomous vehicles are, they can provide transportation for disabled people. It says disabled, provide transportation options for people who are unable to drive due to age, disability, or other reasons. It says AVs can provide transportation for options for people who are unable to drive due to age, disability, or other reasons. I can see that. Whether if you can't drive, whether if you're too sick, you have like a broken leg or something, or you're just too old and you can't see anymore, and you're just not physically able to drive, that can be another issue altogether. So that's where I feel like, AVs are actually a plus. And I can see that being a plus because, they can provide other options for driving altogether. But there is also a downside to that. That downside also leads to, ironically, job displacement. Something that you would never think of. I mean, yeah, if you consider it, job displacement being whether if you're a trucker or a transporter for, let's say you're transporting people to and from different hospitals and things like that, that could put you out of position and allow for autonomous vehicles to take over. With that being said, it would reduce the amount of necessity for human labor, and with the human labor being down in the gutter at that point, and allowing a robot to do what a trucker would normally do, or a paramedic would normally do, or something, what I mean, or something of that matter. Allowing a robot to take care of that is going to be, I feel like a little bit on the downfall at that point. So, leading to my third topic. The third topic would be traffic efficiency. I think, I'm iffy with that altogether. I'm 50-50 because if you put traffic efficiency altogether with that, it really doesn't do much. I feel like if you're having autonomous vehicles drive for you, all you're doing is just replacing a human with a robot. That's my take on it. Mind you, these are all pros and cons that I've just looked up in general. So, I feel like with this list here, with the traffic efficiency thing, I don't see that. Somebody would have to explain it to me, but I feel like with traffic efficiency, it might not do much. It might reduce it by 10, maybe 15%. That's my take on it, because all you're really doing is replacing a human with a robot, which I don't think is a good idea anyway. But that being said, if they think traffic efficiency, brings it down quite a bit, I don't see it. That's just my take on it. And then leading to my con for that is there's a lot of ethical dilemmas with it, right? And there's a lot of ethical dilemmas, and this is exactly what I was just talking about. Robots, I guess, AVs or AI altogether, just raise a lot of potentially life-threatening questions, or society-altering questions when it comes to this. And I feel like it raises a lot of concerns, I feel like AI can actually backfire on us, or just AVs can actually backfire, and with the way things are and whatnot. That's just me. But with the way AVs are moving and whatnot, it does raise quite a few questions. Like, let's say, does it know when there's an accident up ahead? Does it know what to do? You know what I mean? How to avoid the situation? it away, things like that, or does it recognize when the vehicle being driven is not an AV in front? You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. And that's just for autonomous vehicles, right? Can it tell if it's a combustion engine autonomous vehicle or if it's an electric autonomous vehicle? That's where we got to draw the line, and I feel like a line does need to be drawn on that, as far as what ethical dilemmas go. So, leading towards my next pro, there is the reduced need for parking. Apparently, so apparently there's a reduced need for parking with this, right? And with the reduced need for parking, I think with AVs on autonomous vehicles, yeah, you can probably have them keep going, making money for you and whatnot, constantly driving around, being like a taxi service, so it's constantly maneuvering. That's where I feel like the traffic seems not really go down. I feel like parking may go down, right? But I don't think traffic is going to go down, especially when somebody's wants to make as much money as they want. They're going to look for ways to do it, and one of them is going to be utilizing that said vehicle that they bought to make money off of people who are just getting by, right? So there's definitely a business aspect to it, and a lot of the business people are definitely going to keep these cars on the road, which is going to increase the traffic and allow for less, more parking to be, less parking to be utilized. So yeah, definitely I could see the less parking needing to be done, but that actually I feel like is counterintuitive to the less traffic, unless they're planning on getting rid of just older cars altogether and just destroying them or something. That's literally what they would have to do. That's my take on it. Which leads to my con for that, which is the legality and the regulations. Construction, right? So, with that being said, we also have to make sure it's very legal. You know what I mean? You have to. That's the other thing too, is the legality of getting everything done and making sure everything is regulated. There's not really many laws with that too, with the autonomous driving and the robo-taxi and things like that, because that's all brand new. So I guarantee you, within the first 10-15 years, they're not going to have many laws into it, and it's going to be very easy to make money, but it's also going to be very dangerous too to society, not just to the planet, but to society. Not just to society, but the whole planet in general. So that I feel like is going to be, it definitely ties into what I was just talking about too, because especially if let's say you're somebody who's greedy, you know what I mean, who wants to make as much money as they can to a point where they'll screw somebody over, they'll keep that car running and driving constantly, right? And they'll make as much money as they can off the other person. So with that being said, if somebody's money hungry, they're going to keep that car on the road, and they may take risks to cut corners to get around these rules and regulations. There are people out there the kind of people that would do that. That's just a sad reality. As much as I don't want to say it, that's just, we all know that. That's something that's an unwritten rule that a lot of people know, that there are people that we have to watch out for that'll do that kind of stuff, right? And that's my take on it. But so there definitely, I feel like, needs to be some sort of regulations in place to at least get it going before we can even do something about it, to be able to do autonomous driving or use autonomous vehicles altogether, because this is all very new and this can be all very problematic and can backfire on all of us. let me go let me go put my car to the supercharger really quick, and then I will get back and finish up the rest of this video. And ironically, so I'm back, and ironically, my fifth and final reason for a Pro is that, yeah, with the regulations and whatnot, yes, they're going to have to be regulated and whatnot, but the final Pro is actually, there is an economic potential, right? So like I was saying, with these businesses and the downfall of people cutting corners and things like that, the market for it could actually help raise the economy. So that we can't, you know, knock down as the truth is, you know, how it can actually benefit the economy. It can actually have a lot of benefits to it. I see that part. But there's also the downfalls. And, you know, if we do things ethically and morally correct and, you know, economically correct, you know, if we do all three of those at the same time and, you know, keep AI and, you know, AVs in a very controlled manner and, you know, to where we control everything, no problem, then I'm cool with it, right? And I think we'd all be cool with it the same way. But, you know, if we have, you know, if we have one of those things wrong, then we can definitely backfire. But the economic growth, you know, with autonomous vehicles is absolutely exponential. And especially if you're a business owner, and I guarantee you can see right through that. I can see right through that. It can definitely make some money for sure. Especially out for people who need to get to and from work and don't own a car and things like that. And they just want, you know, they need a right to get to places and where they need to go and whatnot. So there's definitely that. But the last and final thing is that all seriously depends on the infrastructure and technical requirements. I feel like, you know, with that being said, we also need to have a substantial infrastructure to be able to support all of it. Right now, currently, our infrastructure is nowhere near close to be able to handle it. Like, let's just put that out there. You and I all know that there's no way we have the right infrastructure to be able to handle it. Yeah, we have Elon Musk, you know, who's doing everything he can to, you know, to help advance that, you know, with the make the technological advancements needed to be able to handle all of that stuff. But you know, right now we're just not at that level to be able to mass produce everything. And I feel like where we went wrong is we started mass producing, and we started mass producing the wrong thing, right? We started mass producing cars that rely on all this stuff, but we didn't mass produce the things that we need to build the infrastructure. I feel like if we built the infrastructure first, then we built the cars, then we wouldn't have this problem, right? I mean, yeah, we definitely advanced with electricity and whatnot, and, you know, the efficiency and how we do things, but, you know, the infrastructure itself, I feel like definitely needs to get better. I feel like there is a way to even transport it wirelessly if it's possible, and we've definitely discovered that it is definitely possible with the charge pads and the cell phones, right? But I feel like there's another way to be able to transport it even further wirelessly, and that has been proven as well. If you ever watch the Nikola Tesla videos, or the documentaries about him and things like that, he discovered how to do that. And you know, definitely I feel like, you know, it is 100% possible. With that being said, but those are my 5, you know, pros and cons and whatnot of autonomous vehicles and what the safety concerns are and things like that. And you know, the economic growth out of it, the economic possible downfall too, with it, and cutting corners and things like that, and what society changes that could possibly happen, and, you know, how things could go about it and whatnot, and go from there. So So the next thing I'm gonna do is soon I'm gonna end up, you know, doing what I was saying and just, you know, taking it out to the racetrack and things like that and start, you know, pushing out those kind of videos soon. But yeah, this is just a debate that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and you know, these are my reasons why I feel like certain things are happening and whatnot, and how they are happening and whatnot. What the downfalls are and what the plus sides are. And if you guys want these videos to, you know, if you guys want me to keep making these videos, cool. If not, then you know, I'll find something else definitely more interesting as far for you guys. So we'll for now, I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care.